What's up, fam? So there's two people to thank for the tech I'm going to bring you in today's video. The first you're watching on screen, CC's. Go ahead and give him some love. And the next is going to be my boy TraxxRE, whose house I'm currently standing in. So when it comes to farming pet skills, you're really talking about Fortuphants. Why? Because tick for tack, nothing beats the experience gained per durability used when it comes to devour. So what I mean by that is per every one durability used could be anywhere from 1 to 3 Fortuphants, versus if I were to take something like a plat user, sure, it's more experience, but I could end up using 1 to 2 to 3 durability just trying to capture it. So before we go set up what might be the easiest new Devour arena to build, actually, let's go grab a couple Fortuphants, right? Now the secret to this sauce is 2 parts: the tendon attack and the weapon of choice, the short bow. So with the lower power attendant, it's pretty simple. You just want to drop the Fortuphant's HP to just barely above half. This way, by the time your attendant's reloading, the capture icon is perfectly popping. So if you do your settings right, it will work for the 62s, but with a low power attendant, I would not recommend it, simply because of how much agate you'll be using. Now Pole here is who I actually use for farming Fortuphants, and you'll see he's sitting at 4033 attack. So let's go see what the difference that makes. So you can start to see how this can really start to speed things up. Now with a stronger attendant, you can definitely do 62s, but then the argument comes in whether or not I believe it's 7,000 to 8,000 more experience is worth the 3 times more durability usage. Now if you, like I, just see every Fortuphant as more XP, then by all means don't let me stop you. Alright, so time to build the Fortuphant Crusher. Now I'm not kidding, this thing, you guys, you're gonna be able to crush like 200 temps in an hour. For how effective it is, I almost wish the design was harder to justify how effective this thing is. Using the small foundation as a placement marker, essentially it's 2.5 walls high before you place the laminate. Fortuphants are 1x2 long, so you'll want to make sure you have enough space. Next up is guardrails, otherwise they will shimmy and have the potential to fall out. Next we have the wall, which will be protecting our Fortuphant. So it's going to be 1 half wall and then just 1 regular window. Alright, the area for our Fortuphant is all set. Now to do the base. So the idea here is pretty simple. We're gonna have them funneling down here, and you wanna make sure you put your walls snapped on the inside. Once you do that, you're gonna want to choose some furniture to use as the blocker for the rest of the hole. Feel free to experiment with different furniture setups, but what I found that works the best for blocking the Fortuphants is going to be the red treasure chests and the baby's breath. Furniture is just to keep them caged in. It's not actually to block the attacks. Alright, cool. And that's really all there is to this Devour Arena setup, guys. Now we gotta do is test it. Pro tip, anything less than 24 attack quality, I feed a Sky Charge Pill and release. Anything above that, I keep to raise to 41. Considering how cost effective it is, this is a really good way to save some time is by using these Sky Charge Pills. Now, clipping on the outside of the walls isn't bad. You can see here it's working perfectly fine. One of the things you might want to watch for though, it's how you know you didn't set up the side barriers correctly, is if they start to step on the chest or over whichever piece of furniture in the middle you have there, it's usually an indicator that the sides are leaking, so to say. So it only takes 10 total Fortuphants to get to 41. You can either do a 3-7, a 2-8, or a 4-6 method. I like to go with a 4-6 just because of how it saves space. And if you're trying to do this in as tight of an arena as possible, I've noticed that the 4-6 doesn't use the back row, so that's kind of nice. Whichever you go, the idea to getting to 41 from here is super simple though, and should only take you 2 batches. The first batch to get to your mid-30s, and then the second batch finishing off however many you need. So it's about 5 by 10 big, and oh, last thing is, if you're building a second story, you'll need to keep a hole open if your arena is on the bottom floor where the spawn is. Alright y'all, that's about all I got for today's video. Hope it helps. If you guys got questions or suggestions, drop them in the comments and